What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Jiggs TV, your Filipino in Australia. And for this video, we will talk about how to file your income tax return here in Australia this 2021. But first of all, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button and notification bell button so that you will always be updated with my videos. Please also follow me on Instagram at _Jiggs_TV. Check out also the PDF that I created entitled New Filipino Migrants in Australia Guide, which I think can be very helpful for those who want to migrate here in Australia. Link is in the video description below. What I will discuss is actually how to file your income tax return here in Australia via online or using the MyTax website. And this is only for an individual. So basically what I will show you is how to navigate in the MyTax website in order to lodge your income tax return as an individual. It's actually basically easy and quite straightforward. Lodging your income tax return here as an individual is quite different, especially compared to Philippines, especially for employees because most if not all of the income tax return or personal income tax return as an employee is being submitted or lodged by the employer in the Philippines. But here, you yourself should do it. And I'm actually not sure if there are employers that submit their income tax return in behalf of their employees here in Australia. Some of the individuals here use the help of some registered tax agents in order to lodge their income tax return. So the registered tax agents will file their income tax return on their behalf for a fee. Your friends or family members that knows how to lodge an income tax return can actually help you. However, they should not charge you if they're not some registered tax agent. And you just need to be aware that you seek the assistance of a non-tax agent or non-tax registered agent. The liability or the responsibility still lies with you. So if there are any errors in the income tax return that was submitted, it's not actually your friend or your family member or other stranger that you sought help that are not registered tax agent that will be held liable. In the Australian Tax Authority office website, you can actually help or seek the assistance of some tax help volunteers, which are also free. So if you don't want to use or seek the help of some registered tax agents, you can seek assistance for these tax help volunteers. You can do so by using phone or online or face-to-face by going to some tax help centers. We'll also put the website for the Australian Tax Office so that you can refer to some or most of the details that I will discuss here on that website. So what I actually do is just search for income tax return Australia. So I go to the Australian Tax Office and basically you can read over this page, but what I do is, because I'm already familiar, is to lodge your tax return online with MyTax. The link will be shared in the video description below so you can refer and go back to this website on your own. So I will click on this one using the MyTax. Actually, this it's a different app or website. You need to create first this MyGov account using your details, and basically it's where most of the government services are centralized, or the details, for example, that MyGov account is connected to you, will be connected to your Medicare Centrelink, and just like this one in the Australian Tax Office. So when you try to register in Centrelink, usually they will give you already the linking code. That code, you will use that in order to link your MyGov account to the different government services so that most of your details will be integrated. So this is how it looks like. So you just need to prepare your income tax return. So this is the first step. Put in your contact details. And next is your financial institution details or your bank details. Basically, this is your bank account because of course if they will have to refund you some amounts, they will already directly credit your account for some refunds. So you just need to your details here. Then just click next. So these are the questions that you need to answer after. Are you an Australian resident for that year? And did you have any spouse? So these are the type of income that you receive. So basically, if you're just an employee, it's not that complicated, or you have only a few sources of income. You just need to click this salary and wages, and of course some interest. Usually it's the bank interest for your bank accounts, and then of course your deductions, which is mostly related to your work. Just need to tick those that applies to you, and then just click next. Then it will show you already the return that you need to fill up. This is the main page that you need to fill the details. So for the salary, usually this is pre-populated or already populated in the Australian tax office or this My Tax website, because what they actually do is your employer will submit your details, your income details to ATO, which is the Australian tax office. Then once they receive that details, they will populate this page already, so that it will always be matching or most probably accurate. But of course you can still edit it if there are some inaccuracies that you notice, but basically we don't do anything because it's usually correct. So you just need to compare the income tax or the income that was populated here, and also the tax withheld from you. So you need to compare your payslips with the total for that year. Compare it with the details submitted by an employer to ATO or to My Tax. And also the interest, basically even your interest income from your bank accounts is connected as well to the ATO. So usually it's already populated. I don't know how they do that, but they have because most of your details are indicated in your tax, even your bank details. That's how they come up with this amount. Of course you can still verify on your own, but mostly because it's minimal. I mean, for most people, at least for me, I just leave it like that because this details is coming also from the bank. They submit some of your details also to ATO. And then of course the deductions, so you can add or edit. So this is how it looks like if you will add something. For example, you have work-related car expenses. If you have transportation expenses that was not reimbursed or something like that. I will not discuss the deductions, the details of the deductions, and it's up to you to research on yourself or consult with if you want to consult with some registered tax agents. But during this time, most of the deduction is related actually to the working from home because of the COVID restrictions. So if you're part of that employees that are working from home, you can probably claim this working from home. It's actually 80 cents per hour that you work from home. I think that's what I usually claim. There are other deductions. You can actually search by yourself in the ATO website. It's basically easy to do. So just put the description and then the amount and just save. Of course, you need to compute separately in using probably Excel or some of your notes, so that just in case that or of course some of the records as well, some supporting, because just in case that your profile gets picked to be audited by the ATO, you have something to provide them or to show to them. And this one is for private health insurance. If you have a private health insurance that you applied during the year, this is mostly populated as well. Your private health insurance company would submit your details, some amounts as well, to ATO. So this will also be populated once they receive that. Or you can also get the statement for the year, for the tax year, from your private health insurance. Then you can compare in the populated amounts here and or input yourself based on the statement that you got. As you can see, details here are already populated because your private health insurance provided the details already to ATO. You just need to confirm, and then because they have a law here that if you don't have a private health insurance and your income is above like their threshold that they have, you will have to pay 1% to 1.5% depending on the bracket of your taxable income. That's an additional payment that they call it Medicare levy surcharge. So that's in case you don't have a private health insurance. But if you have, they won't charge you this Medicare levy surcharge. But you don't need to get a private health insurance in order to not to have this Medicare levy surcharge if your taxable income is below the threshold that they have. You can refer to the ATO website. Then if everything is fine, this is the last of the questions. So if was prepared by yourself or you ask for some assistance from tax help volunteer, which I discussed a while ago, these are people that the ATO sought assistance to give some people some help as well with the preparing or lodging their income tax return using the website or online or using MyTax. And then if you will lodge some Australian tax return in the future years, or if this is your final return. What's nice about this MyTax site is you can already calculate the supposedly tax refund or tax payment that you need to do. The estimate, of course. Once you've lodged all your details. So as you can see here, they need to have some details about the occupation that you have for most of the income that you've incurred or received during that year. In this section, you will see the income statements. These are the statement details that they receive from your employer. So you can see here the details, the gross income and the tax withheld from you by your employer. These are the details that were submitted by your employer to ATO. So if it says here tax ready, it was submitted by your employer, then in most cases it's already populated in your tax return. So you can go back to tax and lodgements and income tax to go back to your income tax return lodgement. So if you save and continue and everything is fine after calculating, and then you will get the estimate tax refund, and you can compare it to the actual tax refund that you will actually get in your bank. So you just, after clicking that calculate, you just need to tick this box and then lodge. So after lodging, that's the final step. Actually, if you saved your details and then after each step, you can see there the save button, right? If you've done that and then you just simply close this website or sign out, those details will already still be saved on that if you go back to that MyTax website. So this is how actually MyGov looks like. So you can see the center link is linked to your MyGov account, and you can also link some other government services like Medicare. So the deadline for submitting your income tax return is actually up to October 31 of each year. So for the financial year, for the tax year, for example, July 2020 to June 2021, you need to submit the income tax return related to that up until October 31 if you're doing it as an individual. So you have a very ample time to prepare your income tax return and submit it. And one thing that I like here in Australia is the process of submitting your income tax return is easy, just like what I showed you. And even the process of refunding is quite easy as well. If I'm not mistaken, last year, my first time of lodging my income tax return, it just took me, I think, a few days or a few weeks to get my tax refund credited directly to my bank account. So that's actually quite convenient, especially if you have a high tax refund based on your income tax lodgement or based on the estimate. This is actually usually the case you don't have unemployment for the full year. For example, if you're just a new migrant, for example, you just arrived here. So usually if you don't have employment for the full year, most of the time you will have a tax refund, or because they usually withhold more tax from you every month compared to your actual or should be income tax payable if you calculate up until for the full year. And it's actually quite high. The tax rate here is high compared to other countries. For example, I've been to Malaysia, right? So I think still relatively low there, or the income tax return is still higher here. And also, it's about the same rate actually with the Philippines, about 30%, or it can be even lower based on your final income tax lodgement or calculation. But what I noticed is that even if the tax rate is high here, you don't feel it that much because I think because of the cost of living. I mean, your salary is still very much sufficient compared to your expenses or cost of living here. I think the only expensive cost here is the rent, but other than that, the rest are manageable compared to your salary that you were getting, even for an average labor worker. So that's quite comforting for if you're an employee here in Australia. The tax rate table that they base the calculation is actually also shown in the ATO website, so you can refer to that as well if you're curious about it. And just to add is that I think you can also amend your income tax return after lodging it if you find something that is wrong with your previous income tax return using the MyTax as well. But personally, I haven't tried that, or I don't have an experience on that one. But that's based on my research. That's what they said. You can also amend your income tax return after submitting it, or even after paying or completing it if you found anything that needs to be corrected. So I guess that's it. If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to hit that like button. It will be a big help to my channel. And if you want to see more videos related to life here in Australia, don't forget to subscribe as well and hit that notification bell button so that you will always be updated if I have new videos uploaded. And also follow me again on Instagram at _Jiggs_TV. And also don't forget again to check out my PDF file that I created entitled New Filipino Migrants in Australia Guide. Link is in the video description below. So I think that will be helpful, of course, to those aspiring immigrants here in Australia. So thank you for watching, and you can also share this video, of course, and stay safe and positive, and see you on the next one.